Okay, now we finished Act 1, Scene 1, but we do need to do the after reading. And so we have what we're doing with our after reading tasks is we're tracking motifs. Remember that a motif is an image or a symbol, something that repeats over and over and over through a text. And so we have three that we're tracking in Romeo and Juliet. So we're tracking the past against the future. So we're looking for an older generation fighting against a newer generation. So we're going to mark for that. We're going to have the futility of fighting fate, which we talked about. There's going to be fate all over in this play, right? When we were reading the prologue, we talked about that. Two star-crossed lovers are going to fall in love, and then they are fated to die. And then, in the last thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight for light and dark. And in Act 1, Scene 1, we only have two. We only have the past against the future and light and dark. We don't have any futility of fighting fate. So we're going to jump back in. And this first time, I'm going to help you with finding some of these motifs, right? So the first one we're going to have to highlight in green for past against the future. And sometimes we might have to underline to find them. But let's go back up here where the citizens come in, because they say, beat them down, down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues. And, while it does say, we don't know that, these are all young citizens. And later on with the prince, it says Verona's ancient citizens are upset. But they're still saying down with this generation of the Capulets and the Montagues. So we want green, right? So we're going to highlight in green for those. Down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues, right? And if you wanted to, you could even, make a little note for yourself and just say, that is, maybe I'll do that, right? So this is the motif of wait, what was it called? I forget now. We just looked at it. Past against the future, right? The past against the future. All right, perfect. Future. Okay, then the other one for the past against the future is in the prince's speech. So we want to wield old partisans and hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. So we're going to underline that, because that is also kind of the old, the past versus the future. Okay, so then we'll also highlight this line. It's picking up that. So I'll just go to there. I'm going to move this over, and then I can keep highlighting. There we go. Yeah, close enough. So once again, we can say motif, past against the future. Okay, then the next thing we want to do, let's scroll back down. We want light and dark. So we want to look for light and dark things, and we're going to highlight that in pink. Pink. Okay, so then we want to go to Benvolio's lines up here, right? When they start talking about, when he's talking to the Montague and Lady Montague about Romeo, right? So he says, Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east. That's light, right? So we're going to go ahead and highlight that in pink, because that's light. And then we can go ahead and click and do motif, light and dark. Okay, so that's our light and dark. And then the other thing is Montague has some as well, but so we're going to highlight this. But also, soon as the all-cheering sun should in the furthest east begin to draw. So that's motif, light versus dark, or light and dark. That one. But then we also have it in these lines where we highlighted in blue. So I'm going to see if I can underline these in pink and see if it'll let me do that. Yeah. So I will just underline these. And it's really temperamental, isn't it? There we go. It's kind of freaking out. So we're going to underline these in pink to show that we're doing that as well. So we have the motif of light and dark going on in these lines. So we have the 2 for the past against the future, and we had the 2 for light versus dark, light and dark. So we didn't have any this time of futility of fighting fate, just those 2. So just make sure that you've annotated those. We're going to keep tracking these as we go through the play, and we'll talk about them when we get all done. And why does Shakespeare keep all these motifs in Romeo and Juliet? Because he's doing these 3 a whole bunch throughout the entirety of the play. All right, so hopefully you did that. See ya. Bye.